Hello everyone and welcome back to a new Mac Trains video. We have a few changes to the format today. We've got a fancy intro graphic and a few changes on the layout as well. For those of you who are eagle-eyed and willing to peruse the original video, if you spot any changes, I'll do a shout out to those who have picked up. There are three differences on the layout compared to the original one. Very slight changes, but you may notice them, and if you do, let me know in the comments. And another background shunting puzzle while we have a chat, and today I want the order of the Inglenook to be the brake van, and the Baldwin, and the ICI, and the NCB weathered, and then the Horlicks at the front of the train. So we'll see how that goes. That should work away in the background. Apologies for the moving camera. It was not done with the same finesse or time and attention as the initial one. So it's one camera in a hand, no gimbal, attempting to hold steady. So apologies for a little bit of jerkiness both with the train, forgetting to change the points as you can see, and the camera work itself. But it'll trundle on the background. In the meantime, I just thought we'd do a sort of update on the state of play on these two developments of HM7000, HMDCC app, and TT120. First of all then, HM7000, which has at least the advantage of having a universal appeal. It isn't limited to any one particular scale, and so hopefully it'll be more relevant to a wider audience. So we'll deal with that first of all. State of play, well, as of just now, I've just checked the App Store again. There's still no HM7000 app released. It's probably a little bit early, talking about middle of March last I heard. There's some conversation about that in the interview I had with Simon a few weeks ago. It's been posted. Thank you to all who have watched that, all who've commented. I do appreciate the comments. The comments really help me. And in that, Simon has very kindly offered to do another round of Q&A. So if you have questions, please leave them in the comments. I've kind of gathered a running list from the comments of previous videos, and we'll try and get them back on the channel in a few weeks' time and see if we can find out as much as we can about these new developments. So I would encourage you to drop a question down, anything you want to know. There's plenty of things I won't have thought of that you will have, so let me know. It seems that some of the HM7000 decoders are out in the wild. At least I know that there's one video on YouTube by Model Loco. It's not fully functional because it hasn't got the Bluetooth app compatibility yet, so it's simply operating as a standard sound DCC decoder, and it has a more generic sound profile on it. But it seems to function well. It does what you'd expect, what you'd hope. There doesn't seem to be any major flaws in the essential hardware, assuming they can get the software right, which is obviously what they're working on, and we're just taking them a little bit of time to iron out any bugs, and that's going to take time. We'd rather that come out, certainly, I think all of us, sooner, but at the same time we want it to be right. We don't want to be dealing with bugs when we're working with our own system. So that's where we're at. It did come out in the last Q&A with Simon that obviously some of the Hornby stock is 4-pin, and that there is the intention at least to have 4-pin HM7000 chips at some point. Now, when that might come, very hard to tell for sure. Derailment that managed to sort itself, that's the kind we like. Another area that I hadn't been clear about, at least, is that the Bluetooth dongle that it gets added onto an existing DCC controller. I thought that was sort of giving control from the app through the DCC controller onto the track, but actually it works both ways. It seems that the by the dongle now, the DCC controller can effectively be Bluetooth controlling the locos that are chipped with HM7000. So that might have been very obvious to everybody else, but it managed to slip my attention at least, so hopefully that's clear for the rest of you. As we're trundling on here, we've got a few minutes left. TT120. There's much more come out of this, of course. We've had the Easterner set, we've had the Scotsman set with Blink Bonnie, we've had other locos released of the same ilk, we've had Mallard, we've had Flying Scotsman and so on, and they all seem to, the essential kit certainly seems to be largely without any major controversy or flaw, apart from the track. The track has caused consternation. The cheap controller has also given grief, but it is what it is. It's a cheap train set controller, and for those who are using it simply as a child's toy of a controller, that'll be fine. For the rest of us, we'll almost certainly be looking for something better. It does come with a low and high power wave setting switch at the back, which is of some use, at least if you're trying to get more realistic low speeds. The track, as you will have seen no doubt from the forums and various comments, there has been issues with the track. Certainly in the Easterner set, I think in the Scotsman set as well, that unless it's pinned down, it tends to rise on the inside rail, which causes an uneven surface, which causes the coaches to kind of grind in a rather unpleasant way. You can sort of prise them open to the correct radii that they're meant to be, which seems to work well from those who've done it. So that's certainly a fix, but it's a fix we shouldn't have to do, of course, but it's not catastrophic at the same time. I have enjoyed seeing the scope of what's possible in the smaller scale, and for those of you who've had the chance to see layouts in the flesh, as it were, at the Scottish Exhibition Centre just now last weekend, or at other places, you'll have a better idea than I have. But what I have picked up is that you do have a lot of scope. I had really considered, first of all, this would be great for a small end-to-end layout, but at this point I am thinking maybe it's scenic potential to have a large scale layout would also be viable and worthwhile considering. So again, your thoughts, what do you see, if you haven't plunged into TT yet but you intend to, what do you envisage doing with it? Do you think of it as a small shelf layout? Do you see it as a scenic masterpiece? What sort of thing is getting the juices flowing? What sort of thing are you excited to try with it when it all comes together? So let me know what suits you. There's the end of the shunting. Here's the end of the video. Comments always welcome. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, please like, and see you in the next one.